Hello, everybody, and welcome to BC Buckets. I'm Matthew Brune. Joining me is Colin Mitchell. Colin, today we have Bobi Klintman from the NBL, formerly of Wake Forest, was going to be in the draft last year, but then withdrew last second, went to the NBL, originally from Sweden, 6'9", 21 years old. We have, like I said, he was at Wake Forest last year. I think we even did our scouts on him, and then
Yep.
he withdrew. So we have a little bit of familiarity with him. Seeing him in a pro league as opposed to Wake Forest was a little different. 26 games, 22 minutes, 10 points, 5 boards, 1.5 assists, 8.8 steals, 44% from the field, 34% from three. Where do you want to start when talking about Bobi Klintman?
For me, I'm going to start with a question because
Okay.
Bobi Klintman obviously came out of the draft last year and expected some improvement. To me, I didn't really see a lot of improvement from what he was last year. So I want to ask you real quick, where do you see him? Because for me, all my strengths are upsides. Like it literally says upside,
Yeah.
moves off ball, upside, then size and rebounding. So
Okay.
for me, where do you see him, I guess, which upside do you see filling out?
So I do think he felt like overall a little bit more polished this year. Like when I watched him, it felt a little bit more under control. Um, And maybe that felt the most obvious, like, in the three-point shooting.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I do know Wake Forest in the last, I think they said the last 10 games of the year, he shot, like, 40-something% from three. He was really, really hot to end the year at Wake Forest. Um, but as a prospect, I didn't really trust that last year. This year, shot 34% from three, 3.5 attempts per game, only playing 22 minutes, so he's getting shots up. Um, I felt like he was a lot more comfortable, like, as a shooter,
Mm-hmm.
like, quick releases, like, kind of on the move, a relocation shot, threes. And if he can shoot, that changes a lot. That changes a ton. So I did feel better about that aspect of his game and at least seeing it for another year as a pro. And that just helps his offense as a whole, obviously, because he's a good cutter. He can get up for some dunks. He's not a great vertical athlete. I think 32-inch vertical, but he's long enough to where he can get up for some dunks and finish at the rim fairly consistently. So the offense side of the ball, I've seen a little bit of maturity on.
Yeah.
Still only 44% from the field, but overall the shooting, like the ability to to get to the rim and kind of finish was reassuring.
Yeah, for me, just talk about defense as a positive. Again, it's an upside type of thing. I think as a team defender, I felt like that was a thing that was much more improved from last year as well, where he's kind of reading the defense better. Um, I think he needs to be better in help, but
Hmm.
I think in overall as like an off ball defender, I think it's really well. And his size, the size, I think what's his 6'10" with a 6'11" wingspan. I mean, that's gonna go a long way. And if he's able to right now I see him more as like a 4 on the defensive end, but if he's able
Yeah.
to come down and be quicker and be able to guard those threes, I think it's gonna be very valuable. And then just talk about his rebounding, 5 rebounds a game.
Yeah.
He's not the most vertical athlete, but if he's able to continue to do that, I think that's going to cut out a role for him, especially if that shooting comes around. Because if the shooting comes around, he's able to be what I think is going to be a spot up shooter, catch and shoot type guy who kind of runs around. Defense will be obviously you'll be a 3-and-D forward.
Yeah.
So
Um, we can just jump straight to question marks we have because I don't have anything else like strength wise. And
yeah,
I want to talk. I think it's more interesting to talk about Klintman in the big picture with him. Like we'll do that afterwards. But for questions, like there was very, very little self creation with the
oh
ball in his
yeah,
hands. There's really I don't see almost any potential. 7 of 27 on off the dribble jumpers this year. No bursts, limited handle, doesn't create space. So I have to drop him fairly significantly because of that. The finishing outside of dunks was very average. I think he shot 46.3% at the rim in the half court on non-dunks. So, you question that touch. And like you said, all right, what did you say about his passing? How did you evaluate his passing?
oh I didn't say anything about passing.
Okay, you
I was
didn't.
talking about defense.
Yeah, he was. I believe it was a 2-to-1 turnover to assist ratio. I believe almost. So
Yeah, he had 0.9 assists, 1.7 turnovers.
yeah,
So not great.
so that's those are my concerns for Klintman.
Big picture, I already kind of mentioned the type of player that I like to see him be a defender that can kind of shoot a three. I like a Torian Prince. rebounder, kind of obviously seems to improve defensively.
Yeah, so the defense being a question mark, or not even a question mark, but like no, yeah, I mean, yeah, a question
That's
mark
a question mark for sure.
is makes it interesting for comparisons. I have down Trendon Watford,
Mm.
who is an exceptional offensive talent, like just awesome. Like out of college at LSU was really, really good. I have Trey Lyles,
Trey Lyles is interesting.
and then I have down Markieff Morris, which I don't love as much, but
I don't like
the
that much
frame I
either.
think is there, like 6'9", strong,
Yeah.
can kind of get there. But those are my comps. Like none of them are elite defenders by any means. Really, Morris is probably the best defender of that group, but you need to be able to shoot the ball. You got to be skilled on offense to carve out a role, and I think a lot of them are backups. So I think that's where I'm at with Klintman. Now 2 years of seeing him and as treating him as a prospect, him being between like 25 and 35 on most people's boards, I think kind of speaks to his ceiling overall. Like we know what he is at this point, over 21 years old. So I don't feel great about him. Is he gonna be in your top 30?
Right now it's close actually. I don't have my things numbered, but he's rated right now 79 for me.
I have him 77. So I have
Lower.
him at
Okay.
30. He'll end up probably like in around the 35 range for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
So
But
somewhere in
I think is in terms of a player, I think his floor is fairly high for where he's getting drafted.
yeah.
But
I
I
would
don't
like
really
to like I said,
see.
I would like to see him early second. Like I would like to see him in the second
Yeah,
round. I would feel a lot better about that than I would first round.
I
So
completely agree. I
we'll
completely
see
agree with
where he
that.
goes. But yeah, thank y'all for joining us. Leave us a like, comment, share, subscribe if you haven't already, and we will talk to y'all later.